Hey everybody, welcome back to Aaron Limitless. Today we are doing a little road trip into Boston, or to Boston from Buffalo. So I'm super annoyed with this video already because I've recorded it like first time 10 minutes and then the next couple times for a couple of minutes each. One, the landscaping was off and it kept stopping. And I couldn't figure out why. I kept thinking that maybe I didn't hit it the first time, and then the second and third time I'm like, does it keep stop for something? And then I realized whenever the GPS would like update something or say something, it would stop the video. I always thought it would just ignore it, but maybe because it's on CarPlay, it was automatically like, like overriding it. But I'm like, now that I'm on a stretch for 100 miles, we don't have to pay attention. I turned it off for a minute. But yeah, that was just infuriating trying to like record all that. We just got into Massachusetts, so that's nice. It's almost 11 o'clock, so we're supposed to be in Boston at like noon, which is great. We're making amazing time. Whether or not that actually happens with traffic in Boston is another story. But yeah, I think, let me see if this actually looks better with light or not, if it's gonna be too bright. It's good. So yeah, like, okay, so this trip is kind of like a little bit of just fun, and a little bit we have like a priority. So we are selling my car, which is this car we're driving now. Right now we have 3 cars, and we are looking to sell 2. So we have this Mercedes, we have a G-Wagon in Dallas, and we have a Jaguar, an older one. So we're looking to sell this one because we never ever use it for starters, and I'm never good with keeping cars for super long. And I've actually had this for a year now, ironically. So we're actually selling it because we're getting a really good deal on it price. Half the reason why we're going out here to sell it, and we're probably going to get an Audi Q7. That's like his friend is selling his Q7 because he's getting a brand new BMW something SUV. So he's selling that for a good price, and we would actually have money left over after selling this. It's going to be the same year, virtually all the same stuff in it. It's just going to be an Audi over this Mercedes. But as far as like quality or anything like that, the vehicle is going to be just as nice as, I think actually the Audi has a 3rd row versus this just has a very large back, and it's just a 5-seater. Doesn't make a big difference to us, obviously, but it's just one of those things where it's like, at least we're not losing anything, and we're actually going to have like, 20 grand almost left over from selling the sale of this car. So we're going to keep the G-Wagon because I love that car, and it's a car I drive when I'm down that way. But we also just wanted a newer car, a different car. I mostly did. It just made sense at the time. Because if we're possibly moving to Philadelphia, or going to turn it into at least like a majority home base for us, that may end up being like, what we end up deciding to do. So this car would stay essentially between Buffalo and Philadelphia, because it's only like a 6.5 hour drive between both cities. So we could leave it in whichever one we're in and just fly out, and then whenever, we just kind of mangle it. We don't mind a long drive, so obviously we're doing this. Excited for that. But we're also going to be selling the Jaguar in Dallas eventually. That's been paid off forever. He's had that for, I think, just over 5 years now. He got it when it was new. But it's like a 2015 or 16 now. So it's like, he wants to get rid of that. He wants to get one of those Tesla Model X's, which is, I think, the SUV version. It's electric, obviously. But I mean, it's cool. I'm not really huge into Tesla, and I wouldn't say he's huge into it either. But kind of just figured it would be like, a cool vehicle to get, and I like the tech in it more than anything, and with all the tax write-offs and deductibles you can get, and with how we drive, mostly that car would just be when we're in Dallas, because we usually take the G-Wagon if we're doing a really long drive, just because the bigger vehicle is more comfortable, even though it's horrible on gas. But yeah, so that's like the goal of doing that. But we're also going to Boston because that's where all of our insurance and everything is kind of based, and that's where his friend that we're going to be looking at the car now, why we're going out there to sell it at Mercedes to get a higher price than Buffalo is. So it's kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Decide if I'm going to get that vehicle, and then we'll come back when he gets his new BMW in August or end of July sometime. That's when his BMW said it's going to be ready, but obviously there's delays. So we will be doing that. So it's kind of an excuse, but Boston's my favorite city in America, so I love to come here every time I get a chance to. So, yeah, it's actually making a really good time. Like, it's only supposed to be like a 5-hour drive. Obviously, the traffic, who knows? But I just can't believe it. I mean, I haven't even had him switch over because I just feel like it's been so nice out. It's sunny. There's no traffic so far. We just got into Massachusetts, though, so that could change. But, yeah, it's just, as you can kind of see, it's blue skies. And it's been like this the entire time. It's gone up a little bit, 64. I think that's about the high today. So, yeah, it should be an overall nice day. We'll probably just walk around by the water, either go into maybe like Watertown or Cambridge and just shop around, just kind of do it as a chill day. We're not doing too much today. Tomorrow on Sunday, we're going to be selling the car. So it will be, you know, by that point it'll be sold. But, yeah, it's just a fun, you know, day. So just trying to catch up. I'm trying to think of what else we haven't talked about since the last time. Doing that. We're going back to Miami at the end of this month, so that'll be fun. The last trip was a really nice trip. It just was, with everything with, you know, my ex Randy's passing and stuff, and that was the reason why we went on that trip to get out of town. You know, it just, you know, for what it was a beautiful trip. You know, he went above and beyond. You know, I was really appreciative of that. And, you know, I had a good time, but it still had that cloud. And just, you know, I was still upset and, you know, depressed and all that stuff with everything with Randy, obviously, because, you know, it's, you know, even though obviously we broke up for a reason, you know, still was pretty close with him and got along with him. And, you know, he's probably one of the best people I've ever dated or just known, you know, in my life. So it was a lot of shit to have to, you know, deal with and work through that. So, you know, the trip wasn't as enjoyable as it normally, you know, as it would have or should have been. So this time it should be a lot more fun. And when we got down there last time was the end of spring break, which made it crappy. And we were kind of squeezing in all these trips in a short period at that point. So it kind of burned out from it because we were in Hawaii, Philadelphia, Boston again, New York, etc. Buffalo, of course, and Dallas. And in Oklahoma, I forgot about that. So it was kind of just squeezing so much in. So it was kind of tiring, to be honest. But, yeah, so this time should be a lot more fun. And with it being spring break, that time wasn't as enjoyable, obviously, for obvious reasons. And there was a curfew in South Beach. So every bar and every restaurant was closing by 11 o'clock, but a lot of them were closing at like 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock, like ridiculously early. So it just wasn't enjoyable and as fun as I thought it, you know, as it should have been. But that was just, even if that was still open, I think it would have been marginally better, but it still would have just been kind of one of those, you know, it was just a lot to deal with all that. But things are better now. You know, a couple months has gone by. What else to think of? Oh, so we're going into, I won't say the name or anything because I can't really talk about it, but we are going through some litigation with a certain, I'm trying to just like always checking to make sure he's not like shaking his head telling me not to say it, a certain company that we do our business through, you know, for quote unquote rental arbitration, short-term stays. And said company terminated our one account, we have multiple, for a guest that had made up accusations, not against us, but just in general with something that turned out not to be true, really. And so they're supposed to, you know, they still have clause in government contracts they have to go by, and they canceled our account. And, you know, before their insurance or like investigation even had done their, you know, their due diligence in their part. So after finding that out and reading through, like, you know, the paperwork, you know, stuff like that for the company, sorry if this is just combobulated or if there's any parts that are cut here, just because if I accidentally say the company, I'm going to have to cut it out. But so that's not, they're not allowed to just do that. You know, you still have recourse. So if you ever doing something for a company and you get fired or let go or something like that, you know, happens, you might have recourse to it, even if you think you don't, just because, you know, you work for them and they can do whatever they want because they're a company. That's not always true. So, you know, just always remember that. Obviously, every situation is different, outcomes are different, but so we filed with this company, you have to do arbitration before you go to court. So we're in arbitration with them for, pretty substantial, damages, essentially to try to make up for multiple properties not being able to make income now and having to take that financial hit, this, stress and damages, whatever else you try to, add in with it, because I feel like these companies don't ever learn or try to do what they're supposed to do correctly unless there's some sort of financial penalty for them. So, it has been going, I could say, good. We're not going to get 100% of what we were asking, but we're going to get like 75, 80% it's looking at this point. Our final one is actually tomorrow, Monday, or I guess it would be 2 days from now, Monday. So yeah, so 2 days from now. So hopefully that'll all go good. There was kind of little bits that, we were trying to hammer out with, what they were going to cover for attorney and stuff like that. But that's kind of the update of that. We are on another, short-term rental company now, platform in the Buffalo area, and the handful of ones in Dallas that were down. We got all of them back up and back to making money, but there's still a financial penalty to hit, etc. But at least they're back up on another one. I won't mention it just because, there's only so many that anybody actually uses. Mostly like 90% of the traffic is to companies that everybody uses for the most part. So I won't mention either. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much that. Life-wise, we are also going to be looking at a venue here for our wedding next September. Not this September, but the following, 2023. So it has a conference center, but we're not exactly sure, because it's a boutique hotel, how much space there will be because of what we want, because we're probably going to have like 150-ish to 200 people. So pretty decent-sized wedding. But this one would be perfect because of the proximity to the airport. It's a beautiful hotel. We've actually stayed in it before on a previous trip. But for the price of it, we might actually rent out the entire hotel, because it would be nice enough where anybody that's used to nicer or want a higher end hotel won't mind, unless they're just like extravagant hotel people that only stay at, those kind of hotels. But overall, it's a 4-star hotel, so everybody should be happy. And anybody that, never stays in an expensive hotel or moderately priced like that, will, it'll be a treat, or, it'll do for everybody. So I have a buddy that actually that works and manages and runs like a big valet type car service, chauffeur service. So that would be perfect to get to and from there. Even if we don't use it for the wedding, it might be perfect for just the hotel and like the cocktail hour before we go to the actual ceremony, wherever that's going to be, we have to figure out. And then wherever we do the actual like reception. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be insane. Like, I don't know, it's weird. I never wanted to do a wedding, but I guess once you find somebody and you're actually married and like, or getting married, and like, just suddenly it actually sounds like it's a good idea, and like, you kind of start looking forward to all this stuff. But I always just thought I was going to be like, okay, I know what I like. It'll be like that to get everything done. And it's like, okay, you might know what the flowers you like and how many people and what kind of food and stuff, but then you have to think of like liquor, other decor, candles, lighting, photography, videography, music, security, transportation, accommodations, suits and dresses for everybody, makeup and, hair and all that kind of stuff. It's just, there's a lot. So definitely going to be vlogging that. It's going to be like a whole entire series. I'm going to keep it really busy. Probably actually be hiring somebody to video that and especially edit it for us, just so it actually gets done. But yeah, it just makes, me super excited, and I know he's excited. He won't ever admit it, because he's always too chill and cool. But, it is super fun and exciting. But yeah, I'm just trying to think what else. I don't know. I don't want to make this video too long. I want to stay under 20 minutes, but I wanted to give like a little bit of a life update, because I haven't really been talking to a lot of people lately. Yeah, so I'm trying to think what else. So yeah, we're going to be possibly moving. We have no idea where. We are literally looking at places everywhere. So we found, I will post a video of a place that we are going to see in Chicago. I have some photos, but I want to get actual video of it. So we're supposed to be making a pit stop there, I think in the next 10 days actually, for only like a night or two in Chicago. But so my thing is, I love his building. I lived in a loft myself, and I love like where it is. But my whole issue with like living in a loft is just the space. No matter where it is, for the most part, you just can't find a place, even as beautiful as his places that we live in Dallas. You know, it's like a penthouse, yada yada yada. It's really, really nice, but it's just you don't get, you know, you just don't get a lot of the stuff that you would in a house. I mainly want the space. We have 2 dogs. Hopefully to get 2 raccoons soon. So it's just we needed a space. You know, we both want a studio. We want at least a studio and 2 offices possibly, or 1 large office and a studio to be able to do editing and all that kind of stuff in. So if we're able to do that, you know, that would be like the most ideal, you know, case. But we also want to have a guest bedroom and obviously a main primary bedroom. So that's at least 4 rooms that we need for that dedicated. So that's really hard to do, guys, in like a loft or apartment. Like, and you guys know that. I mean, there definitely is some, but just for the kind that we want, it's almost impossible like to find in Dallas, because so much is being built so quickly. It's all new and nice, but it's not like, I'm sure we could find something, but just he doesn't want to be in Dallas much longer, just because he loves to travel and he's been there for 17 years now, so he's kind of over it. And I don't want to go back to Buffalo, and you wouldn't find anything that we would want in Buffalo, really. It was hard enough to find the loft that I was in. But having that huge house with previous videos I told you, which was dated kind of, but it was space-wise was phenomenal. Like 3,500 square feet was amazing. 4,000 if you included like the garage, which was the gym and the basement. But so yeah, so this place in Chicago, though, I felt like this is a perfect what is the word, compromise for the both of us, because it's a stunning place, like over the top, like, you know, it would be just insane for either of us to, you know, live there. But so it was, sorry, this traffic is like annoying. So yeah, so the place is a 2-story loft complex in a building. So I kind of feel like with it being 2 stories, it's 4 bedrooms plus a side office. So technically it has all of the rooms plus 1 that we'd actually need. We could have 2 guest bedrooms or something else. So literally it has like the same kitchen layout as our kitchen now, so very commercial, but it's just the exact same layout, same windows as his unit. And it has, instead of having just the 2 small and medium-sized balconies, it has 1,000 square foot balcony, which isn't even included in the square footage of the place. It's massive, guys. Like, from the pictures, it looks almost like the size of, like, I would say, like, I think it's 1,000 square feet. So think of like an average loft or like a slightly smaller apartment, but just a balcony to put, like, I don't know if we could get a hot tub up there or something, but because of just like logistics, but just to get, like, you know, outdoor patio set, grill, you know, couch sets, etc. Yay, we're finally in Massachusetts officially. We could officially, like, you know, it's a huge amount of space. It's an insane amount of space. The amount of parties and stuff that we could have would just be incredible. And just from the other pictures, like, you know, it had 4 bathrooms, 3 full, so that's great. And what else? I'm trying to think. Like, it was a glass, you know, super modern, but kind of contemporary a little bit, but very definitely on the modern side. But I think with the outdoor space and having some of the wood, like, finishes they put in to try to make it look more rustic, that is totally his style. And then the modern's very like mine. And the building itself at the common areas is very Restoration Hardware. I believe the building name is Parkline. So, you know, it's a nicer area. It's like right on, you have views of the water from the one side, or I guess technically some of the bedrooms, and then the one side of the unit. And then you have views of the city all on the other parts of it, because it kind of wraps like around 2 sides of the building. So it's pretty awesome, to be honest. So that will be like, you know, a dream if like we get something like that, because that would be like, we'll get the space that I really want, you know, the style I want, but it'll still be in a building that he wants with the light and just, you know, right downtown, which he really likes, which I'm not as, you know, I'm good with location wherever we are, because I can do country. I've done it. I've done suburbs. I can obviously do city. So, you know, we're going to do that. I honestly would prefer to have like a vacation home at least in Vegas. I feel like that would be a lot of fun because I love visiting there, and it's weird because I don't gamble or not a big partier, I'm not the life of the party. But for whatever reason, Vegas is just like the energy. I love it. I could see myself living there, at least having a vacation home there. So maybe we'll get a rental there, and then rent it out when we're not there. And he loves Philadelphia, and he already has base there with properties, so that's what it's looking like to be the most logical place. But it would have this very same layout and unit-wise of like what Buffalo would have, just because the cities are kind of similar, if that makes sense, both being East Coast cities. So we'll see. Wherever we are, it's not like we can't go to these other places, but I figured Chicago could be fun. Like, I've never really been in somebody that cares about Chicago. It makes me kind of claustrophobic knowing that outside of it, there's nothing around Chicago outside. Like, there's no other cities or, stuff like that. But, it is what it is. Like, we are always used to flying as it is, so it wouldn't be the biggest deal. But it's weird when you have a choice of where you want to travel and where you can live, that it's harder to figure out because we're not stuck by family or friends really, because we can always visit. Or we're not stuck somewhere because of work, because we can work from anywhere, luckily. So really just having that many options, even overseas, really, it just makes it incredible to be able to choose stuff like that. We're really fortunate to be able to do that. So yeah, it's just exciting. But yeah, I think it's about 21 minutes now, so I gotta go get ready to wrap up now. I might come back on later. We were listening to a storybook or an audiobook on Audible. So we're probably going to stop to use the bathroom and get gas, and that's probably going to be it for now. But I'll record some more once we get there and when we're doing other stuff. But yeah, guys, just want to catch you guys up on what's going on and give you some highlights, kind of a quick bulletin of life the past 2 months, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching Aaron Limitless, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.